bear with me, because with the camera angle, I'm gonna have to move the cameras around
Okay.
for them. So actually, I'm gonna flip you right now, sorry. So we have Felipe on 2 donut bowls just to get him up higher.
Oh, wow.
So since you're seeing legs, trunk control, and whatever, what I'm gonna go after here now is the lower, where the hip trochanter is going into the leg placement, and lower back going up.
That would be great.
Okay? So when we're doing this, what I'm gonna start to do is a really delicate, now you're gonna have to arrange your touch, but I think she's actually in a pretty good position right now, is just real soft on the fingers here, and then as you're going up, just to lightly scoop and press in. And then again, your down is just as important as coming. Here, I'm gonna flip, I have the camera on the black side, so I can see if you're picking it up enough for the Skype part. Sorry. So what you're doing is, as you're lightly lifting, you're just scooping in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
By the way, I forgot to tell you, I now have a dog and a bird. No, because I'm with my dad. We're bird sitting, this cockatiel. And no, I'm just saying, because I'm feeling up Felipe, and if I go home, I don't want Sunshine to say, you've been in a jungle. So I'm giving him heads up.
This thing, should I put her on the disc, or does she?
Oh yeah, you could do that. Or just keep this in mind for later, but what I like about the inflatables is, again, that coming down. You'll have to let me know too, to start setting up the cameras differently. Like if you say, hey Michelle, we've been doing this left hip now for the 2 weeks. Yeah, the bird is about his cupcake with the iPad and stuff. I was letting him use my YouTube to watch the bird sing. He gets off on that, so we put on the playlist for him. And the video had stopped, and I went to hit, the next one, and he almost bit me, little stinker.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because he was like, get away from my phone. You know how she does? All this kind of stuff is what I was doing for like Asher Alizé for like weeks. And Cupcake. I mean, this is again my detailed stuff. Now what's interesting right here. Hi Esther.
Sonia.
Oh, hi Sonia.
Hi.
I should have known Sonia's brighter than Esther. So now what's interesting, what I'm feeling in him is a little bit where the SI joint and the sacrum don't want to budge.
Yeah.
So I'm going to switch hands just a little bit where I'm going to be twisting as I'm going up.
Twisting from the outside in or inside out?
So I'm twisting to the outside, so what I want is more so that the coccyx sacrum follows the fingers like this and then go down.
Got it.
Can you feel that?
Mm-hmm.
And what you should feel when you go to the outside just a little bit 2 is that's what starts activating going over to the leg.
Got it.
There we go. So right there I've connected and I'm totally going up his spine. So I'm just leaving it in the outside position just for a second as I draw the force up the spine, and then now I'm bringing him back down.
Okay. Oh wow.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, just so you see what the difference is. See the, right? So now I'm just gonna go back. So you just use your tempo, because right now I'm getting Cupcake's knees with the iPad. But you just use your tempo, what you feel of going back to the tush pelvis and then into that SI. There we go. Now his tush is really rolling down in. Now again, this should make really good sense. Do you see the length of the movement that I'm getting? This is what I talk about, that I'm not getting like, this
Yeah.
short little ping versus that whole long movement. Now, if you want now a Cupcake, just start a little bit with your hands going up to the back. Now, when you feel now, I felt it right here with him, he suddenly wants to go over to his left shoulder, even though right here I'm going all the way over to his right knee. I touch him right here and he wants to go more to his left shoulder. Right? And that's where you'll see with Cupcake, where, again, that the rotation that I'm looking for here, Joy, is like from the foot all the way back to the opposite tush, back through the head, back through the foot, right? So if I were to get up, that's the rotation I see, that big circle in the body.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So see, when I go here, up through the top of the head, over to the right foot,
But
and then,
with Cupcake right now, I'm feeling so much like it's getting stuck right at her rib hump. She's like curving here.
right. Now, there's two ways, that's where we're getting, we're finding where the part is on the body. Like I said, I went to him, and now here he wants to go to his left
Yeah.
side
yeah.
easily, right? Now, there's two things you can do with that. You can go and just shift a little bit. So you're gonna, again, do the curve like this.
Okay.
And for him, it's very stuck. I mean, he just does not want to transfer over to the other sit bone.
Yeah.
So stay with that. So now think of it, don't push this way. Right? You're pushing this way. Think of it like a clarinet. Pinky, right? So now, no, forget the thumb. Just think of pinky, then your ring finger, travel up her back. No, you're still doing this way. Pinky. So in this case, I'm doing the lower finger, and see how I'm going. So I'll exaggerate it. See how the pinky's off? And I'm going like that up the back.
Oh, like that?
Yeah, no. Start with your pinky.
Oh, start with.
Yeah, I had to reverse it because of the camera. No, see, now you're doing same fingers. Movement first in the lower finger, like you're playing the keyboard on the piano.
Like that.
Yeah. See the difference?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Right, see if I did this, feel the difference? Versus, right? Does that make sense? Now go back to the move that you were doing and feel the difference.
Totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's responding to this way better.
There, and so did he. Now Kelly's a great spy, and like so is Krista and stuff. Can't they, like, while you're in the tank, that someone's like just taking a picture of where the settings are at,
Oh, they're
or
not even allowed in the room.
Oh. Can you go in the
They have
room?
to stay in no, they have to stay in the waiting room.
No, what about you? You can go be with her, right? She's not alone in the tank, is she?
No, yeah, I'm in the tank.
Oh,
but
phew.
everyone else that's part of the family has to stay in the waiting room. They stopped allowing people to be in. They're super hush hush now.
Blame that on Jennifer. I don't know what else to tell you. No, I'm kidding.
She's definitely one of them. Because the more he talks through everything, everyone's like, oh, that's easy. I can do that when I get home and I don't need you.
Well, I still say, and why I'm different, I don't know. If you're expensive and hush hush, first thing people want to do is copy, just like I said, go take a picture. But when you're reasonable and you're explaining, people are like, why should I do it? I can just come to you.
Yeah.
So now, go back to the original move.
It's still stuck somewhere.
And then go back to where you switched off underneath that SI, where you twisted out.
That's good.
And then now do that same thing, but now reverse it. So now you can do the pointer finger up this way. So same thing like we just did with the pinky, but you're going to go this way, twist over the hand, and see again if you can lift up more from the lower.
Oh yeah, that's much more responsive. It's not getting stuck right there. It's going a little bit.
Well, be careful. Even like with him, I went in to do all fingers in, and he got stuck. I'm really twisting my hand. See, you should be this. Your right hand, or actually your left hand, should be down in the tush. So you should be here down at the tush,
Oh, left
and
hand.
reaching over. There we go. And see, is that more responsive?
Yeah.
Index goes first. A pointer finger into the pinky as a range. There we go. So now with him, he finally just curved out, belly diaphragm dropped. Since he's never really done this before, when he goes out that far, I let him see how that's different. Now this was interesting what you just did. See how you're swaying the head?
Yeah.
Right? And this is the biggest problem I have with these kiddos because of head control. So come back. So up here, feel the difference. Versus here, see how the...
Uh-huh.
So I'm just going back again to that original move. So now what I want to do with that is keep the hand right above the pelvis. Don't move that part, but I'm going to come over just to where the hint of the trochanter would be. And same thing, I'm going to be doing this kind of movement, pinky first. Again, playing that clarinet or the piano keys. And go around moving that trochanter as I'm going into the pelvis.
Okay.
Now again, I'm just getting kind of her shoulder and stuff. I'm not seeing your hands, so I have to... Can you feel that more?
Yeah. Does that seem right?
Yeah, it looks great. And now what I want you to do is walk the hand back a little bit and see if there's any glitches in the hip, because I just found one on him. But,
There's
yeah.
a lot.
Yeah. So now again, don't push when you get to the hip. Now, this whole move is all pinky to index. just like you're playing a chord, because when you're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, or however you want to think of it in your head, what you're doing is 1 movement in, 2 movement in, 3 versus 1 whole movement. So by rotating around like the hip and stuff, you're finding out where within that. So the hip's here. Am I finding the tightness here, here, here? Where is it not working as well? Does that make sense?
That
So see right here where you want to rock it up versus roll it over. Because that's what more you're used to.
Yeah.
Which is fine, you know that. Look at the screen, I get like a little flash of pink and black. Yeah, I was a very good little daughter this morning. I let my dad sleep in. I took the dog out, got him off the bed, made him a smoothie, left it on his little cart, so hopefully he sees it first thing.
How do you like living there?
You know what? Part of it is really great. I love having more space. I set up a nice little chair area. Every night I'm on my computer and I overlook the lake, whereas in my apartment I just had the drapes closed all the time. I felt like it was como. I didn't have any windows.
Yeah.
And what windows I had, I couldn't open because of the smoking. But at the same time, I started to try and clean out my dad's computer room to get Graham in there. Let's just say it this way, Kelly would throw up.
I mean, you'd be shocked at what Kelly's doing while he's here. Like, we're walking around Bourbon Street with Cupcake, Jersey, he's okay with it.
Awesome. It's amazing what happens when you relax a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, I put Allison over to you. She's looking to do ABR.
Oh yeah, she contacted me.
Okay, good.
I think I recommended. We'll see, but I put her in touch. Oh, I want to put her in touch with Mariana.
Okay.
I don't think she needs to do like the full thing.
Well, they said she'd only have to do an hour a day, and I said, I don't know who you spoke to.
Oh yeah, no, Mariana would say the same thing. The structure is quite good. Its Cupcake has all the dislocations that need the many hours. But I mean, Mariana's thinking of coming here in September, so she hasn't booked her flight or made plans yet. That way, Allison wouldn't have to travel.
Yeah, they're going up to Canada to see relatives, so they just thought they'd bop over to Montreal, but she's like, they don't work that way. So now I'm going to go back up to his spine, like we were just doing. And see, now I can start to feel where he's got catches in the sternum. It took that much work for me to feel where he has a catch in his sternum.
Oh wow.
Can you feel that?
She doesn't want to stay still anymore.
Well, you want to change it up a little bit?
No. This is really good. She's used. We are joking that she's used to a certain lifestyle now. We walk around New Orleans every day, twice a day. Oh.
I cannot wait to walk around Boston.
Boston.
Gordon applied to ASU yesterday. He's like, I thought you'd be mad at me for doing that. I'm like, Gordon, I don't care. I just don't want him going to ASU because of drum corps.
Yeah.
So now I'm spreading out a little bit. I'm going down around beyond the hip and then up on the side of the back. Oh, good. But at this point, you should be able to feel that she's really solid on the other sit bone.
Yeah.
And if she's not, let me know. Now, a nice one I like to do, can't really do on Felipe, I'm going to do a little bit of it, is coming underneath the leg here now, too. Again, so I'm underneath the leg, pinky to finger ratio, enough of that to tilt him back. But see, if it was Cupcake, I'd go all the way underneath almost to where sit bones, pubic bone, so I can't do that with Felipe. So I'm along the leg, bringing him back just a little bit, and same thing now is I'm articulating my fingers going back.
Okay.
And that's the move really there that I was about to say, is when they do something like that, that gives them that tilt to want to look over their shoulder coming back like this way, if you do that. So see how I can come back? You want to roll forward, but round your back here. See, and that's where Cupcake would come here.
Okay.
And then I can go back up, and she would come back, and that's where she starts doing the tongue in and out. Ah, see, you lost your sync there.
Yeah.
So are you going out after this, or is it getting close to going to the...
We are going to go to hyperbaric. And then...
Have you had a beignet yet?
We've had many.
Are they vegan?
I don't think so. Cupcake had some beignet.
Or is they good as they say they are?
I actually haven't watched. But yeah, everyone loves them. You know the big funnel cake donut?
Yeah.
I have to tell you when we get back about this like healer up ledger cranial guy we made contact with.
Oh, cool.
He was very cool. Is very cool.
So he did the same thing like Randy's doing, or different?
Totally different. He's like very advanced in the cranial, like the most advanced on their website for New Orleans. And then he's done John Barnes, you know, that professional guy in Sedona.
Right.
And he did the one that Kelly's dad, Paul St. John, the one that used to do Tiger Woods,
Okay.
like Tiger. So he's done like all the stuff, and he did a lot of energy work, but he mostly did energy work with her. And like basically did a reading that turned out to be very much like Rebecca. It's like almost really verbatim, but it made more sense to me in a lot of ways.
Cool.
So very cool stuff.
You get to see him a lot during this time?
Just twice, and then he's doing another training, and then he's gonna come back. He basically said, like touching her, he like could tell. He's like, oh, she's trying to like. She's holding in her, I don't know, second chakra, something like where that's gonna be her dad and her dad healing her, and she wants him to know that like his love is enough, and that he doesn't have to worry that he's not involved in, like he talks about a lot like feeling like a bystander to all this, you know?
Right.
And then like we're the ones doing all this, she's moving so much, and it's not a part of it. He picked that up right away and said she's like his love is so healing, and he needs to know that and be confident in that, and that she needs him as on this journey. And then he said, and it's like your husband, he didn't meet him because Kelly was out of town. He seemed very successful and very confident in so many realms, like so many aspects of his life. But when it comes to her, she's like, I don't want to say, but she says he's kind of like a bumbling idiot. Like when it comes to caring for her and doing her medical cares and stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's about right. And she's like, it makes her like uncomfortable that he's so nervous around her, you know? Like just to like relax. And she just feels bad for him to be so on edge when he's caring for her. But then he said, yeah, he said a lot of things that like her healing is going to be, like he's like, oh, she's going to be a great healer. She's going to do stuff that like no one's ever seen. And I was like, how do you know that? Because her healing is going to be so complete that like no one will expect, like she's like, this is the beginning for her. She, like her vision of the future is already set. Like she's going to be walking and talking and doing everything that like, and like that's her destiny, to show people what's possible. And he's like, but you need to like start believing in that, because your vision for the future is so, you're so scared to hope for that, and that's holding, your vision of the future is holding you back.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy?
That's cool.
There's a lot like
I really respect people, no offense, but can talk that way to their clients. There's a couple of times I just want to say, but I'm too PC.
Yeah, so he was just like, you know, you like love her and you want the best for her. You're doing. He's like, you guys have done a great job. The energy, the love. So, because he was talking about like inner child and like he's worked on the inner child. It's like she has such little trauma from her first 6 months. It's insane. It's like it's love. Like you guys, your love has healed her in ways that most kids, most people, healthy individuals don't have this. You know, like she has been able to let go a lot of the trauma from her medical stay because of you guys.
It's funny because that's the one quality I always say of Graham. Like, he has no mommy issues. He doesn't worry about getting sick. He doesn't worry about it. Like, he's just like, la-di-da. And we were talking about some of his surgeries, you know, recently, and he's like, you know, why did I have to have so many? But at the same time, he's not going, you know, my life's horrible.
Yeah.
Now,
So you're doing,
I'm going back, but now what I'm doing is doing more thumb work. So, and letting the upper fingers guide, because now he really has a range of motion here. So again, more thumb work. It's a little stuck there.
can you snuggle Felipe like this?
Yes, I could.
Yes.
Well, the thing is, when you're doing that, though, I'm going to just do it this way. Hand here like you've been doing on the one side, and then hand here. And what I would do with that is right above and try and lift that trochanter.
Okay.
Okay? And once you get comfortable with that movement, then do it to the right, do it to the, to the left,
You
do it.
to the right and left.
So,
This way?
so you mean here? So you do same where your pointer fingers are doing more of the work, and then you can
Yeah.
do pinky to the index and go back into this hand and go back into that hand. And that's what's going to help.
What are you doing?
That's going to help slide that leg down. That's going up and down the stairs.
I can't really tell the direction.
So you're here, it's looking the same, but see, now I'm doing more with the pinky and scooping it and scooping it.
Okay.
So first it's like this, and then, right, but it's like she's going down the stairs and up the stairs.
Got it.
And see, this is where all this stuff is gonna pay off later, because she's gonna be like, well, I've been going up and down the stairs forever, even though she had, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, there was a lot, and then Rebecca called to see how we were doing, and I told her about this guy, and she was like, she got really emotional, and she said, yeah, I've had visions of Cupcake like running at the fair with Dad, holding balloons, and like he's feeding her like a popsicle, and she's giggling and laughing, and Kelly started crying. She's like, it's happening. You're still afraid to imagine it, but it's happening.
Well then, Cupcake, you should go out today and get a balloon.
I mean, I just, like all the moms, like, there's so much on the blogs, like being disappointed, putting it out there, and then
Well, not only that, but just the level of concentration of the tests.
yeah.
Okay, we got an MRI. Well, you need to, and I was just telling someone, well, with all those visual diagnoses, make sure, I would look for neuro and genetic consult. And she's like, well, we already had a genetics consult and it was normal. And I'm like, yeah, well, that was on 1 micro array. But now that you have all of these visual information, go back and see if they can fine tune it. But make sure when they're pulling the MRI that they're looking specifically for the optic nerve and corpus callosum. But people think, well, they're scanning the brain, so it should check everything. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
and not to say it's always going to give her all this information, but that's when you find out 6 months later. Well, we really didn't look at the and you're like, well, you don't want to pull another one, and they just get hung up on the tests and missed tests when again. But yet this girl's got everything going on and doesn't get a referral for PT just yet. Good,
Yeah, for me, it's the whole, like, these parents are so fixated on their kids walking and this no matter what, no matter how much pain they're in, devices. I just want her to be her very best version. I don't know what that will look like. But people in this energy world keep telling me it's, just, she's going to do all this. And then everyone else is telling us it's very unlikely.
Yeah, but again, in 5 years from now, on top of it, there might be, instead of AFO, little boots that have anti-gravity micro whatever magnets on them that, you know what I mean, to let you sort of suspend and move. Like, that would be a really cool walker.
I think so too. But that's why I'm just letting it happen. But they're like, well, you not visualizing her independently running around on her own and doing all the things that you want her to do is limiting her, is slowing down.
It's like never thinking of a G550. I mean, you know what I mean? Like it's,
yeah.
I know that's materialistic as people would look at it, but it is a lot easier for people to think of, well, I eventually want granite countertop, no, specifically this kind of, you know what I mean? Like, than it is to, and that's why diets even are so hard for people. Even for me, it's like, I had such a hard talk with myself this weekend.
So you're going now, one arm is going side and the other one is going up?
So I'm here, right in the hip joint. And so I started using, when I started doing this hand, I'm starting to do that everywhere now. But see, the way he can move this pelvis now on this side versus this side, I mean, like, like I'm going to knock him off the balls. And this is where the inflatable's really working into what we're doing. Now, what you might want to do, I don't know how I'm going to do it on the Skype here. Hold on, sorry. Back it up a little bit. So since you're snuggling here and stuff, now I'm going to come just around the chest. Same thing. I'm doing this kind of movement with the hand. But I'm here. Oops. And so I'm rolling back again into the hand. And then pinky to pointer over. Now he doesn't want to do this.
Where is your right hand?
So I'm here like this.
Around the stomach.
So right at the base of the sternum.
Oh, okay.
So I'm pushing in pinky sternum, but I'm trying to get his back to bend into my hands and do this way. And you have to give me 1 second because I just saw that my camera wants to die.
Oh, careful,
I lost my assistant.
Let's try this.
I hope I didn't make you do a special trip to Dutch Brothers.
No, not at all.
Okay. Getting a drink, hold on.
Okay.
This
That's
is,
pretty cool what this guy said, right? About Kelly and me. And
that's crazy.
so he was like,
Every day you freak out, Felipe, but yes, it's cool.
okay, well, it gets crazier. I was just setting you guys up. Because,
When's the baby coming?
what?
When's the baby
No,
coming?
no.
Okay, I just thought he was seeing some other spirits coming in.
No, he was saying, what was he saying? Oh, that like she was born in pieces and she's like putting herself back together, right? But he's like, the healing that she's doing is like otherworldly, like, it's, he's like, and this is something I just talked about before he came. I was reading about like manifestation and like making your future happen and stuff and how you do that and visualization and all this stuff. And I was like, I feel like with cranial order, we're just scratching the surface. I feel like there's all these other modalities that are helping her. And like, I was like, are we supposed to go and like see some shamans in Africa and Philippines and like, you know, this? And I was like, no, I don't think so, but I think there's more to it. And then he's saying like, there's a source of energy. And then, oh, he was like, yeah, you really need to start doing like flower essence and like essential oil. I'm like, what is flower essence? It's like, it's a very powerful like way of healing the body and letting the body heal. Because Rebecca's told me about that. The other lady, you know, what's her name? Pregnancy. That other one's like flowers, like it will help heal her. And I'm like, I brought her flowers. She doesn't really care about them. I don't really know how flowers feel. I'm kind of working on like, you know. And when Rebecca told me about it, it was more like head control. I didn't think of like a set of flowers. I'm like, oh. And he's like, well, he's like, I don't usually tell people, but the flowers are not really for her as much as one of her guides. He's like, has Rebecca talked to you about her guides? She says like she has some really powerful folk guides, and one's like Chinese, like Asian, long hair. She's like, yeah, she has other guides. They would be what you call fairies. So she has this ability that help her.
So sprites.
What?
So he believes in sprites.
What is that? I don't even know.
Well, sprites are just another way of, there are people that believe in tree magic or, you know, the magic of the forest, so there's fairies and sprites and, like,
Yeah.
like in a fire, you know, there's,
I guess so. I mean, he didn't go into like great detail, but he's like, that's how one of her guides communicates with her and heals with her. So the flower essence is really allowing that guide to help heal her when she's sleeping, when she's around and stuff. So I was like, what? There are fairies? What? It's just...
yeah, I'm not necessarily there. However, I just watched Ant-Man yesterday, which was really, really good, and it was really neat to look at quantum healing they started at the end.
Yeah.
But going into, the visualization was pretty cool by going, you know, like, we see molecules attaching, you know what I mean? But they went so small where they weren't even able to attach anymore. It was just that pure form of energy. But that in the movie was really good. So maybe Sonia can watch Cupcake and you and Kelly can go see Ant-Man.
Which Batman?
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. Oh, yeah. The first one was pretty funny.
Oh my gosh, this was funny. Gordon and I were just rolling.
It's still, the right hand still at the sternum?
So I'm here and I'm actually right now twisting his sternum and I'm using the backhanded twist. Sorry, I was doing a bit more Felipe stuff, but actually I think it'd be really good for Cupcake the way she's rounded there. So I'm at Felipe's side more. I would go right to the apex of where she wants to bend. right?
Yep.
And so the other hand, so come around, Felipe, look at the camera, is right here,
Okay.
right? So even if Felipe was right here, see how I can twist into that hump? And then also, I'm gonna rotate that hand up right there and come down. Do you see how that would work there?
Yeah.
Now, what Cupcake would be doing, so lift with this hand up to the ceiling. So see, this is what she should be doing, right?
Yeah.
And she can't do that move. But she needs to be able to really work that lower chest cavity. Right? And what also would be able to happen, keep that there, Felipe, is eventually she should be able to roll over and bring the hand down. See? And coming around that way. See how the chest should be able to rotate around that axis point. Now Felipe can do it without his arm down there, but a kid would be bracing as they're starting to go into that twisting. And this is the move that I say that kids don't do. Not bring your hand back. Is they come in here, again, tighten that load, and then spring out. And that's where the cartwheel comes into, or where they're spinning around, like Zoe's sister did. I can't remember her name. Alethea?
Alethea.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Again, and now, okay, hold that position. I know you're on two balls. Sorry. And then what Cupcake should be able to do, since we're talking long term, is twist out and then twist back. Right? This is where I'm really good with my shoulders. Right? Does that make more sense now? All that stuff I used to do, and you're like, how the heck did you do that?
30, 11, 5.
I'll just think, I have a text from Allison, 1 second.
Cupcake. Felipe, do you believe in fairies?
What?
Do you believe in fairies?
I think so. There might be one at home. There's one at my house currently.
I think he's teasing about Krista. Felipe supposedly was able to talk to his grandparents who had passed, and so that's why he's a little freaked out.
Yes. Yeah.
When he was a
What?
kid,
When I was like 2 years old, 3 years old, I would see and talk to my great grandpa, who I never met, and would tell my dad stories of him and my dad doing things.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I don't.
It's pretty amazing stuff that, and he's like, it's not like fairies, like what you think. It's just like it's the energy is like such strong, like beyond like what we imagine. That it's like a metamorphosis. They can change shape.
I think that's what it is. I think there's a source out there that's beyond us, and people
Yeah.
have morphed it into what they need to believe.
Exactly.
So Buddha is very strong, God's very strong because it's a singular.
Yeah.
And I think if right now, if you said, oh, there's really 48 gods, you know what I mean? Like, because we feel we have to worship differently to each one, and that's why that's a bad thing. But if I had 48 children, I'd love them all, you know what I mean? And I'd nurture them, I wouldn't, you know what I mean? So when you start talking about different entities, I think people, like I said, pick up what is a happy thought for them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, there's so much more I have to tell you about this guy. He's coming back. And he keeps texting me about like messages from her fairy friends, and his fairy friends are talking to her fairy friends. And you know, part of it is, and which is good, is that like we're on like done everything, but that like just to enjoy the pause, because of the pause there's so much healing and amazingness, and we're really trying to do that while we're here. But she's been kind of talking to, having her own conversations with imaginary friends a lot here.
Cupcake?
Yeah.
Good.
She's just like talking and like looking at different things and like kind of just in her own little world.
well, tell them they're invited back to Phoenix.
What?
Tell them that they're invited back to Phoenix.
Oh, they're coming. He might come too. He would like.
Tell him he can do a training course out of my office.
Oh my gosh, he's so well trained and so humble. And then I'm like, but on his website he's a masseuse. He's like, yeah, that's just my cover. That's just my New Orleans cover.
So now what I'm going to do here is I'm bracing on the hip, going up around the shoulder, and then bringing that twist in. But don't think of hand and hand. Think of where the twist is. So go real slow, and if she wants to twist, let's say more lower body,
Yeah.
see if you can do this. Now, this might not be today's lesson, you know what I mean? See if you can find a spot. Now, I might have to go, let's say, down all the way by bracing my elbow into the back and doing a little bit of this, right?
Yeah.
Or just find the area that you might have to go in and say, no, I want you to twist more here, and then go back and see if that helped.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, this is awesome.
And definitely you're going to need to balance her out with this one.
Yeah.
So within 24 hours, I would play it the other way. I'll do it the same thing too. I'm going to load my camera now into the computer. I'm sorry, it was done. It was all done. And Felipe's like, here, it's done, it's up. And I'm like, and I just spaced on sending you the link. But
Are you kidding? You're getting it back to us so fast. It's amazing. I know you have so much on your plate. Really appreciate it.
my presentation's coming out nice, and I almost finished up a whole before and after with Max finally.
Really?
But now everybody's putting in their 2 cents. I wanted to do like a 2-minute video, enough for people's, and then maybe a 10-minute,
Yeah.
so they can see specifically, I did this. One, just to say, hey, we realize when you're born, stuff happens, here's surgery, but look, again, like what you're seeing. Look at this kid, he's now can go upside down, and now he's ice skating, he's 4,
Yeah.
He's planning another open heart surgery, but which kid do you want to work with, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And then show more, but Sabi's like, we need to show more movement lesson. And I'm like, Sabi, I don't know. Maybe I'll just do one more clip, but,
How's Sabi doing? Are they getting closer to being here?
I think so. But my site got hacked. My whole,
What?
yeah, someone put an ad on my baby movement lesson, the subscription site.
What?
Yeah, so it was down for 2 days, so she was big hardcore with GoDaddy. I had to buy a whole malware thing and stuff. They didn't wreck the site, she just backed it up on top of that, so she only lost like 2 hours worth of work. But
What? This is the second time?
no, it's never been, I didn't know you could just hack into, but they didn't hack into the menu, they just hacked into the front of the site, so it turned into like a giant ad. But the sad thing is nobody even noticed. So that means nobody was logging in it was like Thursday night to Saturday.
Yeah.
But again, this is where she's like, oh, now I want to do this. Can we just finish the little green frog? Just,
Yeah.
please, like it's been 2 years, like just. But she's jealous because I saw Ant-Man. She's a big Marvels fan.
Oh.
And then again, like I said, go back, but see already, look at the difference now, what even Felipe can do,
Yeah.
going back over that trochanter, now that back, that hole, but you've well greased this whole area with this kind of stuff. But really just start thinking now of adding a bit more of these kind of finger movements
Yeah.
versus it always just being,
That makes sense.
right?
Like,
So.
I like the idea of playing an instrument.
Yeah, but like think of again, the body's like this and you're going, how's the movement here? How's the movement here? You know what I mean? So it's just your fingers becoming more leads to the same. So you can come in like I do with you and then rotate that whole system,
Yeah.
right? Versus going here and you know what I mean? It's just a different movement. Both moves are valid. I'm not saying that don't use that touch again. You're going to use it a lot. I'm just saying in this move, try it to really get that pelvis and again, her lower bum going. And I'll ping you if something else comes in.
Thank you so much, Michelle.
No problem.
Thank you, Julio. Thank you.
Bye. Thank
Fist
you.
bump. Boo!
Thank you.
Eat for me.
Thank you.
Bye.